our song. Loving nature's what we do, so won't you come along? We'll journey on together, sharing what we know, looking for adventure everywhere we go. We're Pathfinders.
Good morning, Pathfinders. A big welcome back to you all, or a big welcome if this is your first time joining us. Welcome to our Pathfinders Nature Club. It's great to have you along. I can see there's a lot of us joining live this morning. I think it's going to be a busy session. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Should we do a few shout outs? See who's in the chat this morning. Good morning to, I need to take a deep breath here. We've got Marcus and Isaac, Lucas all the way in Boston. I hear you've got up especially early to watch, Lucas. Hello, Ezra and Tweed, Tetona and Hannah, Ezra and Caleb, William. Hello, Freya and Billy. Hello to Boudica and Lancelot, Willow and Caden, and Maya and Connie. Oh, the whole Pathfinder Pack is here. Good morning, Willow, Rose, Maya, Lily, Ethan, Abram, Mum, Hannah, William and Samantha. Hello to Ebony, Eleanor, Hannah and Rory. My goodness, there are a lot here today. I don't think I can shout everybody out. I think that would fill the whole time. But a big welcome along. I can see you all saying hello to each other in the chat as well. It's great. Great to be back, isn't it? Well, for anyone who's totally new, welcome. My name is Kirsty, but I know lots of you know me already. We are the Pathfinder Pack, and this is our nature club, where every Monday we come together at 11 a.m. And we explore a different nature topic each week. But that's not all, is it? Not only do we find out some fascinating facts about nature, we also help each other learn. Every week, our Pathfinder Pack presenters take us off on a nature walk adventure. So we get to hear from you guys as well. And we've got 2 nature walks to go on today, which I'm very excited about. So today's session, let's dive straight in, is all about, well, what's it called today's session? It's called Autumn's Colourful Goodbye. And that's just what's happening outside our windows at the moment, isn't it? It feels like we're starting to see an end to autumn. Can you glimpse winter on the horizon? It's starting to approach, isn't it? It's a little way off yet. So I thought, let's start with a celebration this week of what a colourful time of year autumn is. And it's mainly thanks to the deciduous trees around us, all losing their leaves and those leaves changing colour. It becomes a really colourful place to be, doesn't it, when you're out and about in nature in autumn. So I wonder if, for our first question of the day, can we name together some deciduous trees? So by the deciduous trees, we mean those ones who lose their leaves through the winter. So what do you think? Can we name any? Yeah, you're right, Daisy. Lots of leaves have lost almost all their leaves already, haven't they? Lots of trees are looking quite bare. Some of them are clinging onto their leaves till the last minute. Lots of comments here for our trees. Right, deciduous trees. We've got oak trees, silver birch, apple trees, beech trees, cherry trees. Ezra says hazelnut trees, birch trees. Have we got any others? Ash, willow, fantastic. American sycamore. Brilliant. These are great, guys. Plum trees. What else have we got? Oh, sycamores, maples. Yes. Fantastic. Conker trees. Does anyone know the name of that type of tree? Which trees do the conkers come from? Yeah, maybe someone can help us out there. Well done. Fantastic, Pathfinders. We can definitely name lots of deciduous trees. And what about those trees that don't lose their leaves? What's going to stay green throughout the winter? I wonder if you can think of any of those. Well, while you have a think, why don't we introduce our autumn leaves topic for today with a little video. Let's watch together.
What a beautiful time of year. But have you ever wondered why the trees put on this colourful show, turning bright red, golden yellow and even deep purple, and then suddenly all the leaves fall off? Let's have a think first about what a deciduous tree is. Some trees like oak, maple and birch are called deciduous. That means they lose their leaves every autumn. It helps them survive the cold winter months. So why do leaves change colour? During spring and summer, leaves are green because of something called chlorophyll. It's the stuff that helps leaves turn sunlight into food, a process called photosynthesis. But when autumn comes, days get shorter and there's less sunlight. The trees don't need as much food, so they stop making chlorophyll. And when the green fades away, surprise, those bright reds, oranges and yellows were hiding underneath the whole time. Our next question, why do the leaves fall off the trees? As it gets colder, the tree prepares for winter. Like you might put on a coat to go outside, it cuts off all the water supply to its leaves. A special layer forms where the leaf connects to the branch, and eventually the leaf lets go and falls. So why is this helpful for trees? Shedding leaves saves the tree energy. Without leaves, it loses less water in the cold, dry air. And fallen leaves also feed the soil, helping new plants grow in the spring. So as autumn comes to an end over the next few weeks, don't be sad. The leaves are doing important work, helping the tree rest, recharge, and get ready for a brand new spring. All part of one big cycle, and I guess nature is always preparing for what's next.
I think that's an important thing for us to remember, isn't it, Pathfinders? Nature is always ready for what's next. It's always ready for that next step. It's got to be prepared in order to survive through the winter. It's the tree's way of conserving that energy. I agree, Emma. It looks like the trees are sleeping. It's just like us wrapping up warm for winter. They need to conserve their energy and stay warm and stay safe and survive so that come spring, they're ready with their new leaves and to start creating buds and flowers and fruit again. Right then, I reckon it's time we headed outside. What do you think? I wonder how Zara got on with her nature walk this week. She's going to take us out and about and she's in search of some trees. Let's see how she got on.
Hello Pathfinders, let's go on a nature walk together. Look Pathfinders, there's a colourful leaf on that branch. It's green, yellow, light brown and dark brown. Look Pathfinders, there's a holly tree. It's an evergreen tree, which means that its leaves stay green for the whole year around and they never drop, only very odd occasionally. Look Pathfinders, there's an oak tree. We can tell by these leaves. The tree's gigantic. This leaf is brown, this leaf is a little bit brown, yellow and green. This one's kind of black and brown and green and yellow. And this one's yellow and green and brown. And they all have a little bit of holes in them. Look Pathfinders! I found a tree trunk. It looks like a well, a hippo, a pufferfish, a train. There's so many things that it could look like. And over there is a really yellow tree. It's the yellowest tree I've probably ever seen. Look, Pathfinders, here's the sycamore tree. It has brown on the outside, a little bit of yellow closer to the inside, and green in the actual centre. I think it's supposed to go like from one colour when it's like spring, and then when the season changes, it goes from the outside to the centre. Look, Pathfinders, we're at the ruins now. There's lots of different leaves. Some of them look like love hearts, like these little ones here. Can you see? There's like a little bump, and then it goes around the edges, and at the bottom there's a little bit pointy, just like a love heart. And ones like these, they look like they're like dragon scales. Let's see what else we can find. Now, Pathfinders, we're doing leaf rubbing. So you use a crayon, get a leaf, and then you rub it really, really hard to make it appear like this. Bye, Pathfinders. Thanks for coming on my nature walk. Bye.
Bye, Zara. Thank you so much for taking us with you. What a brilliant nature walk that was. You discovered a lot. I love how you were able to identify that oak tree by the leaves. That was brilliant. And anyone else think Zara has a pretty good imagination? And sitting on that log, it could have been all those different things that you said. Well done. You identified deciduous trees, evergreen trees, and so many colours. We really enjoyed you taking us out and about, Zara. Thank you so, so much. Roisin and Fergal say, we loved that nature walk, Zara. And lots of your Pathfinder friends are saying, how great that was. Amazing. So cool. I liked it. And they're saying thank you too. So thanks for making that for us. Now, if any of you think, I would love to make a Pathfinder's Nature Walk video, well, this is what to do. Ask your parent or guardian to email me, and I will send them the form that they've got to complete in order for you to participate and be a Pathfinder Pack presenter. Now, it's quite popular. We've got a bit of a list of people all waiting so patiently for their turn. So be prepared for a little bit of a wait, but everyone will have a turn. And we really enjoyed that, Zara. So thank you. Right then, everyone, I think it's time for a game. What do you reckon? Shall we play a little game called Deciduous and Evergreen? Let's have a little look at this, shall we? Oh, we've got two beautiful trees there, haven't we? So one deciduous, we can see starting to lose some of its leaves, and they've turned that beautiful orangey, reddy brown colour. And then an evergreen tree, which will stay pretty much almost looking like that throughout the year. Like Zara said in the nature walk, they sometimes lose some leaves, but a lot hold on to the majority of all of their leaves. Right, we've got a few different leaves here. Can you identify these deciduous trees in autumn? So these are the trees, the leaves of the trees in autumn. So they've turned these beautiful colours. We've got a bit of a mixture here, haven't we? From almost a reddish colour through orange, brown, and even yellow. But I wonder if you can match up the names with the leaves. We've got all those names along the bottom: maple, sycamore, horse chestnut, oak, and beech. Are there any that you're sure about? What do you think? Let's have a little look. What do we think? Right, we think we've got a few answers popping in already on the chat. We think number 1 is maple, and we think 3 is oak. Lots of people in agreement there, but we may be a bit divided between the maple one. Some people think maple could be number 4. They do look quite similar, those two, don't they? 1 and 4. Do we know the difference? We're all pretty much agreeing on number 3 as oak. I think it's a really distinctive leaf to identify that one, isn't it? That wavy edged shape. And number 2, we're thinking, is beech, a really common tree. And we see it in hedge form as well, don't we? As well as trees. Oh gosh, I can't keep up with all the chat, all your guesses all popping in. Right, what do we think? Zara reckons number 1 is maple. But we've got some disagreement here. Someone else thinks it's sycamore. What are we going with? Could 5 be beech? What do we think? Or is 5 horse chestnut? Horse chestnut, another one in agreement that 5 is horse chestnut. Do we think we've got that one? Sort of need to look a bit closer at that one. Those are, it's quite a bit zoomed out photo, isn't it? But those leaves, yeah, they've got lots of leaves all attached to one stem there. Khadija is saying 2 is beech, 5 is horse chestnut. Shall we find out? Do you think we've got them all? Have you had a go at matching all of these? Let's see the answers together. There we go. Right. How many did you get right? Did anyone get them all? So number 1 was maple. Then we've got beech, number 2. Oak was number 3. And 4 was sycamore. And 5, yes, that was our horse chestnut. Well done. I can see lots of people got lots of right answers there. You're brilliant at identifying those leaves. Or maybe you'll spot some of those on your nature walk this week. I wonder if you could count how many of each tree you see. Let's have a look then at some evergreen trees. Right, for this game, we've got the names of some evergreen trees, but I've been a bit sneaky and removed some of those letters. Can you fill in those blanks and see if you can work out what those trees are called? Let's have a little look. So, first one, we've got the first letter. J, something N, something P, E. What could that be? If we look at number 2 closely, I think you can see the fruit of that tree there. That's perhaps helped some of you identify it. And what about that third one? Some of you think the first one could be a juniper tree. Then we think we've got olive. You see those olives there. And what about the third one? We're thinking cedar for that one. Shall we see if we're right? Let's fill in those blanks. Yes, well done. If you got all 3, that was fantastic. Well done, everybody. Right, shall we try another 3? Right, so we're sticking with evergreen trees. But what have we got here? Something A. What could that second one be? We've got 2 words. And the last one, I've only given you 1 letter there. Can we fill in the blanks? What do we think? Right, we reckon, I think there's enough of us saying it now. We've got number 1, we think is a bay tree. Often used as a herb, isn't it, in cooking, a bay leaf. So we think that's a bay. What about that second one? Roisin and Fergal are in, and they think it's a blue spruce. And what about that last one? I think so too. Most Pathfinders are saying it could be a fir tree. Shall we see if we got it? We did. Bay, blue spruce, and a fir tree. So for some of you that might celebrate Christmas, a blue spruce is often used as a Christmas tree, or a fir tree sometimes as well. Well done. Did anyone get all of those? I think they were I think that middle one was maybe a bit tricky. You did brilliantly, guys. Well done. Right, what do you think? Shall we head back outside again? Yeah, come on, let's do it. As we are in for a treat today, because not only are we going on another nature walk, but we're going on a nature walk somewhere rather different. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll leave Lucas to explain where he is. Let's see if he has any luck finding some trees.
Hello everybody, I'm in New York Central Park. I just arrived. I'm going to take you on a nature walk around New York Central Park. First we're going to look for butternut hickory. Here. This is part of a butternut hickory that might have fallen off. What about white poplar? Here we go. So it's sort of a greenish and yellow colour. That's the colour we're looking for. Oh, this one would do better. A big one. Look at his mouth.
I know what he's eating.
He's eating a nut.
Oh.
A chestnut, I think.
Chestnut?
Yeah. We found some evergreen trees. This one's a pine tree. And this is one of the pine cones. And you can see here that there's this juice that the tree feeds on.
Oh, that's a very big.
Very big one. I just came in here and I noticed this tree has a very mysterious, these black sort of banana shoots, which is basically this. They're basically like seed packets that hold the seeds. These will eventually fall off. Like this one. This is a big one. And grow into another tree if the conditions are right. You can hear the sound. The seeds are inside it. There's another tree. It seems like it's a white ash. A sort of reddish, also a reddish brownish tree. So this one turns sort of greenish. Some of the leaves are already shriveled up. They normally stay on the ground searching for worms and stuff. But occasionally, if they hear a sound, they normally fly up into the trees. The northern red oak actually looks like a dragon. Look, it has this tail sort of thing, and 2 wings and a head. This one's quite cool. I'll put it at the front here. I created a piece of artwork. I'm going to call it Exploding Dragons and Leaves. And another interesting tree. I believe it might be an oak since it has a curved round edges. It's another tree that hasn't fully changed its green pigments yet. But you can see a few red pigments crawling up the edges of the leaves. This is very, very red. I wonder what it is. I think it's American hornbeam. Look, this one's also red. It's called American hornbeam. I was just about to leave and look at what I found. It's a wonderful batch with a few acorns on it I know. So some of the squirrels must have stolen it. This is a batch of northern red oak. Hang on, red? Well, I think this batch might not have changed colour yet. So, here are the collection of leaves I've collected in my nature walk. First and most common is the American sycamore. Normally red and yellow. So we have this one. This one is not American sycamore since it doesn't have enough edges. More of a crown shape. Although I don't know exactly what it is. This one's nice. Good one. Oh, this one's especially red. Northern red oak. Similar to American sycamore, although it has more edges and it's a little bit thinner in the middle. I believe these might be beech, not as gold as them, or possibly butternut hickory, the leaves that have fallen off. Lastly, we have the white poplar. They're normally yellow, and this one's especially just very fresh, just started changing colour. You can still see a little bit of the green pigments inside. Well, my friends, thank you for joining me on my nature walk. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye, Lucas. He's off. Off to find some more leaves. That was awesome, Lucas. A big thank you from all of us to you for taking us on a nature walk all the way over in Central Park in New York. That was really special. And we got to see a few trees that we don't see around here. They're definitely some that are unique to that area of America. So thank you. You identified a lot. And I think do you know what, Lucas? I think you definitely taught me something there, to take your time identifying those leaves and look really closely at the shapes. You did that brilliantly. And looking at which ones are the more common ones. What do you see more of? Are there any that you've only been able to find a couple of? That artwork was lovely. And didn't those leaves pop against the black of your scrapbook? And again, just like Zara earlier, demonstrating the Pathfinder's brilliant imaginations, that I saw that dragon in that leaf. That was awesome. You've got loads of lovely comments from your Pathfinder friends saying how much they loved it. And thank you for taking us on such a great nature walk. Well done, Lucas. Right then, shall we learn together a little bit more then about these leaves in autumn? We've heard lots of different words. We've heard about chlorophyll and different pigments. Lucas, you were mentioning that in your nature walk. And deciduous and evergreen. Let's learn some more together, shall we? So what is chlorophyll and what does it do? So chlorophyll is the green pigment that's found in leaves, and that's what helps the plant to do photosynthesis. Have we heard of photosynthesis before? Maybe that's a new word for you. Perhaps you've looked into that before. It's a process that uses the sunlight, the water that tree absorbs, and carbon dioxide to make food or sugars for the tree. So when a tree is actively growing in spring and summer, it needs lots of chlorophyll. It needs that energy in order to grow, in order to produce leaves and then seeds or fruit. So it needs that chlorophyll during spring and summer. But as the seasons change, so does the environment. The weather changes, doesn't it? The whole environment for that tree shifts as we go through our year. So think about that. What changes occur in autumn and winter? So for a tree out in nature, what changes are happening in that environment? Have a little think about that. What changes? It definitely gets colder. Yes. So there's a change in temperature. There's a lot less sunlight. Spot on. Well done. What else? Well, the days get shorter. So yes, less sunlight and shorter days. So we don't have that sunlight for as many hours in each day, do we? The sunlight also becomes weaker through the winter, and that means temperatures drop. The water in the soil might also freeze as well. So that's an important change that happens. So the water that those trees really rely on may not be as accessible if the ground is frozen. And frost begins to appear. Yes, well done. Okay. So all of that, all those changes in the environment, that means that photosynthesis just doesn't work very well in the winter. It's not a very effective process because the trees struggle to get as much water, perhaps. There is less sunlight, which are the essential components. Trees can't get enough sunlight or water to make energy. It's not worth the effort to keep hold of their leaves. All those leaves are going to do is zap the tree's energy even more. It's not going to be able to grow a significant amount. All that energy would just be spent putting all that energy into the leaves, and it's just not worth it for the tree. So why stop producing chlorophyll? Making that chlorophyll, that takes energy from the tree. If a tree keeps on producing it in the winter, it's going to waste the energy for very little food in return. So instead, the tree breaks down the chlorophyll in its leaves. It goes, right, I'm not going to need this anymore. The chlorophyll is all broken down. And that's when we get that beautiful change of colour. Those colours are always there all year round, those oranges and reds and purples, but they're masked by the amount of chlorophyll in those leaves. That's where we get that green of those leaves from. So it saves the nutrients. It stores them in the roots and the trunks and their trunk for next year. Once the chlorophyll fades, that's when we get the big reveal. That's when we get autumn's colourful goodbye. We see all the other colours, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, that were hidden underneath all the time. So why let the leaves fall off? So why doesn't it just hang on to the trees, to the leaves, and then just fill them up with chlorophyll again in the spring? What do you think? Why do you think the tree lets those leaves fall off? Any thoughts, Pathfinders? What do you reckon? They don't need them, to save the energy, that they would put into those leaves. Is it the wind? Is that what's causing those leaves to fall off? Well, leaves need water, and trees can't afford to lose that in winter. So if we think about it, if there's less water around, if the tree uses that water just to keep those leaves hanging on, it's going to lose a lot of water to the leaves. So it's the tree's way of conserving that water. Bare branches help the trees survive in those freezing temperatures, and dropping leaves protects the tree, helps it rest until spring returns. Right, well done, guys. We did brilliantly there. I can see lots of you following along in the chat on that. And lots of you will have seen falling leaves through those last few weeks. If any of you got any trees that are nearly bare, it's definitely coming to that point in the year, isn't it? There's a big horse chestnut tree. It's pretty much the first tree I see when I leave my house, and it's one of my favourite trees. I've drawn it before. I've done leaf rubbings from it before for Pathfinders. It's one I often return to, and it kind of stands alone in the middle of a square, and I think it's beautiful. And it has lost almost all its leaves. It's been really windy here, and the wind helps, and it's nearly bare. Right then, gang, I think what is it time for now? Of course, time for our spot of the week. Right, I wonder what our spot of the week will be this week.
Hello Pathfinders, will you be heading out on a nature walk this week? Well, if you do, have a go at our very, very colourful spot of the week. I used to feel like autumn, or the end of autumn, was a bit of a sad time of year. All the trees losing their leaves and knowing that they were going to be bare through the winter. It all felt a bit gloomy, but learning about the reasons why that happens has definitely helped me to feel a bit better about autumn. It's like it's their colourful goodbye. And let's face it, we all need a bit of a rest sometimes, and that's exactly what the trees are doing, conserving their energy and having a snooze while they wait for spring. So for our spot of the week this week, let's celebrate those beautiful trees as their leaves change colour from green into yellow, red and orange. See if you can find as many different colours as possible. So head somewhere with lots of different types of trees. You might even want to keep a tracker of the different colours you find and identify the trees too. And while you're out and about, you might want to collect a few fallen leaves as well. You'll need those later on for our Scraptastic activity.
So our spot of the week there is colourful leaves. See if you can identify them. See if you can keep a tally of the different type of leaves that you find. Do particular trees like growing next to each other? How many different shades of orange, red and brown can you identify? And like I said, save a few leaves because they're going to become useful for our Scraptastic challenge. And talking of which, I think it's time I handed over to you guys and you showed us some of your brilliant Scraptastic creations and nature finds since we all last met together. Let's take a look at what you've been up to. Well done, Pathfinders. Absolutely brilliant. So lots of you took on my Scraptastic challenge of making that bird mobile and some brilliant birds and creative ways of hanging them too. And I loved some of your migrating bird artwork as well. Some of you, if you're a few weeks behind, are still adding your photos of fungi that you found from a few weeks back. So that's always fine to share it in the live sessions. Put it in the most recent sharing post and then you know I'm going to spot it. So we need a new Scraptastic challenge for this week, don't we? Let's have a look at what it is.
Okay, Pathfinders, it's time to be Scraptastic. Today I'm making an autumn wreath using the fallen leaves I collected on my nature walk. I've got an old piece of scrap cardboard, scissors, a pencil, the leaves and some glue. And here's an extra tip from me. If you go on a nature walk to collect your leaves and they're a bit damp, make sure you dry them off and then flatten them under something. I used some heavy books. The ones on the left I just left to dry on their own. And as you can see, they've gone a bit curled up and crispy. So on to making the wreath shape. Draw a big circle on your cardboard and then a smaller circle inside it. And then cut them out so you've got something that looks a bit like this. Then time to get sticking. I've stuck all of the larger leaves on first and I'm going to stick mine all facing the same way so it looks like they're swirling round in the wind. Then the middle-sized leaves next and added on the smaller leaves in the gaps. And there's my finished autumn wreath. I can't wait to see yours. Have fun, Pathfinders.
Well, you can see just how much, I made that about a week and a half ago, actually, and you can see just how much, I just lost another one. They've dried since then. The green that was there is now almost completely faded and a lot of the yellow has gone too, but I still really love it. So have a go at that this week. A wreath made with beautiful autumn leaves, or maybe you fancy taking that Scraptastic challenge and giving it your own little twist. That's always okay. Maybe you want to use those leaves to make something different, to make a different piece of art. I know, as always, you'll let your imaginations run wild, and I can't wait to see what you create. So have a little go at that. Right then, I reckon it's time we had a quick glance at our Pathfinders checklist before we all say goodbye until next time. So this is when I leave you with a few different activities that you can get stuck into this week. Of course, we've got our Pathfinders scrapbook. Now, if you haven't got this already, lots of our Pathfinder Pack keep a scrapbook of all their nature adventures and different things that we learn in our live sessions as well. You can download the scrapbook pack. You'll just need a notebook or pad of paper And then you can create your own bespoke scrapbook, and you can use all the different elements. There's different things to stick in, there's different colouring, there's space to put a photo of your spot of the week, there's fact file templates, there's weather trackers, all sorts in there, and different pictures you can colour in to match the different seasons too. So you can find all of these resources I'm sharing in the link below this video. If you're watching on YouTube, just tap more below the video and you'll see the links pop up there, or it's above, I think, if you're on Facebook. So find the link. So also this week, I have shared for you some lovely autumn poetry pack as well. Maybe you fancy having a go at some autumn poetry. This pack is filled with lots of different activities, so you can pick which ones you fancy. And remember, you can always add them to your scrapbook too. And we've got a bit of a activity sheet here to learn some more about photosynthesis and that process which we touched on today. And I couldn't resist this one because I love a colour by number. So I've included this for you as well as a little bonus one, a colour by number autumn picture for you to have a go at if you fancy that. So our checklist for this week, we've got our spot of the week. Go in search of those colourful autumn leaves. You could get creative with the autumn poetry pack, colour by numbers for your scrapbook, and our Scraptastic challenge for you to share with me for next week is the autumn leaf wreaths or display. And look out in the Facebook group, Twinkle Home Educators, for the sharing post, which will pop in there later on today. And that's where to share your artwork, your Scraptastic creations, to be featured in our next session. So a big thank you to everyone for joining me today. You guys are awesome. I've definitely missed you.